Good afternoon to you. Bourne Water Dragons session, early May. The plan here is for me to train some willing volunteers from Bourne Water Dragons so you can run these sessions yourself, albeit under my guidance. Got some ABBA going on in the background. Let me just turn it down a little bit just in case. Okay, so that's the plan. So I need some willing volunteers. We're not going to drop you in at the deep end. We're basically going to guide you through it, straightforward exercises, so you can be self-supporting, and I can step in and help out when I need to, and that way the team develops. Yeah? Okay. So what you need is a body weight, you need a big smile, and you need a pipe. Now, you don't need one of these. My dad's old pipe. When I say pipe, a piece of plumber's pipe, about 1.5 meters, that sort of thing, a broomstick, a paddle if you've got a paddle, or if you have none of those, a piece of rope will do. Same sort of length, and all it is a piece of old rope, decent rope, with a knot in the end, thumb loop. Yeah? Anyway, all these exercises you can do, and what I'll do, I'll interchange using the different ones, but you can use body weight or whatever. There is one other exercise that you need a ball for, and I'll show you that, but hold that thought. Okay. You need to do a warm up, so get the blood coursing around the system, focus the mind, focus the body. Okay, so the warm up I would suggest is something like an ordinary star jump, marching, high knees that you've done with Lane before, or basically good hip flexor. So let's just do this one for the minute. Good hip rotation, both directions, body rotations. You've done all these before. Side bends, remember you're reaching, you're not bouncing. That sort of thing, generally palms down to palm up, palms down to palm up, arm circles, back arm circles, one way, the other way, if it suits, and then to finish off legs, some squats. We'll come on to squats in more detail in a minute as well. Okay, swinging the arms, just using your arms, getting through the full range of motion, warming up the shoulders, warming up the hips. Okay, moving on. So first I'm going to use about, let's see, I think maybe 20 or so exercises that we're going to focus on and build a program around those. I'll demonstrate those. Typically the interval is like a Tabata style, which basically means there's an on interval where you're doing the exercise and an off interval when you're resting. So to start off, you might be doing the exercise for 40 seconds, have a 30-second rest, and then on for a minute or whatever. So you progress. That's called the progressive overload, if you like. That doesn't mean overload as in knack yourself. It means progress over a sensible, manageable time scale. Okay? Anyway, to start with, body rotations. Same as you did with the warm-up, you can either do a big rotation with just your body and you're aiming to go through at least 180 degrees or whatever you can manage to start with, or you can do body rotations with your pipe. That's a joke. Bad joke. Whoop. Or if you had a rope, same sort of thing, over the back, and once again you're just stretching out the shoulders when you're doing it. Body rotations, all sorts of variations. Moving on, posterior chain stretch. Now, I'll show you the top, then I'll show you the bottom. So with your, either with your hands or with your pipe or broom, a big stretch, so you can feel it in your tummy, all the way down, touching your toes or touching the ground as far as you can go, but keep your knees unlocked, don't stretch your knees out. Let me just show you, move that gently, the bottom. Okay, so at the bottom of the stretch we're coming down to here. If you can touch the ground or if you can get down to, but keep those knees unlocked, don't lock them out. Okay, so it's all the way up and all the way down. But there's more. It's not just the posterior chain stretch. So it's a 4-part manoeuvre. 1, 2, and then this hand is stationary, reach out, lateral rotation out, lateral rotation out. You can see you can do it with a paddle. So when you get back towards getting in a boat, this can be a paddle exercise warm up as well. So if you can't go out in the water, you can do this. Okay, but note this is where you're rotating up and out. I'm not moving the hand up here. Up and out, so you get a good stretch on the obliques, up and out. Okay, that's your second exercise. Number 3 is a squat. Now, when you're squatting, here we go again, with your legs, my knee doesn't go any further forward than my toe, so I'm sitting back, okay? I'm not leaning forward like that, sitting back, and then driving up with the quads. I can feel the hamstrings as well, okay? So it's like I'm driving, whoop, let's put that there for the minute and leave that there this time. So I'm driving through the heels, pushing the ground away from me. My hands are either up in the air as I'm squatting down, or I've got my broom or my pipe. Now what I don't want you to do is force your hands back. So let it naturally come into its own position, not down here. So I'm feeling the stretch in my shoulders, but if it comes forward a little bit, that's fine, but it doesn't need to be down here. I need to get that tension, but we're not bending back that way. That's important. Okay. That's the squat, overhead squat with the hands overhead. The next one is a lunge. We've done lunging before. And what I'm doing from there is I'm stepping forwards and stepping back with the hands in the air. Let me demonstrate the feet again, just so you get this. So my lunging forwards, I leave one leg stationary and I'm stepping forward, in this case with my left leg, and then I'm stepping backwards with the same leg, okay? So I'm one leg stationary, I'm stepping forwards, then I'm stepping backwards. What I do is, last time I moved this, I promise you, till I do the floor exercises, what I do with my hands when I'm lunging backwards is I step that way, whoop, so I've got a nice stretch all the way down what is my posterior chain, okay? It's just an extra stretch. It also makes me stable when I'm stretching back. Okay, that's lunges. The next one I call take that's, as in after the band. So from here, either with your hands in the air, or a pipe or a piece of rope, I'm basically doing an extended side bend. If I've got a paddle, I can get down, and I'm trying to get down behind my leg. That'll do, but my bottom hand is just located behind my knee. So I've got a nice big stretch all the way down there, okay? That depends how far you can go, what range you can reach. So I'm getting more of a stretch, more of a bang for my buck, so to speak. Okay, it's nice and slow and deliberate. So we're not rushing it and cutting corners, we are developing the stretch. So that's the take that, or the big oblique stretch. Next one's called doorknobs. You're all familiar with that. Doorknobs. But if I put a weight in my hand, what I'm looking to do is rotate all the way forwards as far as I can, all the way back. All the way forwards, all the way back. That's with one hand. With the other hand, I'm scratching my back. What I'm actually doing is not scratching my back, is I'm trying to get my hand as far up my back as is comfortable, but that's an area that we don't really stretch too much. So just reaching up, and with one hand, and I just accentuate the stretch. Okay, that's all, nice and steady. So I've got 2 stretches out of the same exercise. Hold that for a period, no faster than that, and then obviously change over. If you've got a reduced range of motion, then by stretching it over a period regularly, you then accentuate, improve that range of motion. That's the whole idea behind it. It's not about rushing, it's about flexibility, agility, mobility, and increased energy as a result. That's what the FAME series is. Okay, doorknobs, back lever. Now take it easy with this. If you've got a paddle, like I said, this area, this movement, even though we don't use that in paddling, we need to just develop the range of motion we've got with our shoulders. So, taking it easy, paddle or broom over the back, and all I'm doing is gently levering my hand away just to develop that stretch. Okay? Just developing the shoulder stretch. nice and gentle, and then opposite hand as well, yeah, same sort of thing, just gently lever him. There we go. If I don't have, I can do it with a rope as well, same sort of thing. Or resistance band, if I have a resistance band. This is why I need the, if I have the thumbs in the loop, I'm just developing that stretch. And if I do it with a rope or a band, I've got the stretch in my bicep, top bicep as well. I want to do it just leaving it, if I can only get down to there, fine. Nice and gently, then swapping it over, same again. Like I say, I've got loops in it, but just developing it, and it's a gentle, gentle, gentle stretch, not overdoing it, because there's no point in getting injured. Okay, next one is it's a lateral rotation. Once again, another shoulder stretch. So I've got two hands here on my pole and my paddle and my broom. Okay, watch that. Knuckles up, it rotates round, I catch it there, and what I'm doing is just developing that external lateral rotation. You see what I mean? But it's a gentle pull to develop that stretch. Open up the shoulder, that's all it is. Okay, and when I swap over, catch it, turn it over, rotate, same again. Take it easy, especially if you haven't done this sort of manoeuvre for some time. And the reason we do these is because they're less travelled exercises in relation to shoulders. But I say to people, if you had a Lamborghini in the garage, highly complex machine, and didn't look after it, don't be surprised if it doesn't perform when it needs to. So if you just forget Lamborghini and say intricate piece of machinery is your shoulder, that's where I'm going with it. So you've got to keep it nicely well oiled, well greased, and well exercised. There we go. You can do the same exercise with a rope or resistance band. What you do is you'd hold the band there, same again, very gently, just pulling that rotation. Or you could actually, depends how flexible you are, do it that way as well, but don't overdo it. Just a gentle stretch to develop, open up the joint. There we go, just stretch all those ligaments, tendons, and get a bit of blood flow. I've got quite a rich supply, richly supplied blood, a rich supply of blood anyway. Okay, so there we go, both sides as well. So moving on, we've done the back leg, we've done the lat stretch, crossover. Okay, this is more of a flexibility exercise for your shoulders. You can do it with balls in your hands, or basically we're doing crossover and then stretching. If I just demonstrate it, 1, 2, 3, stretch, 1, 2, 3, stretch. And when I stretch, I'm sticking my chest out. 1, 2, 3, stretch. 1, 2, 3. And when I'm stretching, I'm almost lifting, in fact I am just lifting off the ground, just developing that stretch at the back. 1, 2, 3, stretch. 1, 2, 3, stretch. 1, 2, 3, stretch. A little bit of coordination at the front as well. Okay, crossovers. Now we'll move over to the floor exercises, and I'll move the camera, I promise, just once more. Nice and steady, so we don't get dizzy. Right, let me take my book down so I'll make sure I've got all the exercises. Okay, on the floor, so we're going to do crunches. Now crunches are like a sit-up, I'm sure you've seen this before. I would keep my legs bent so the flat of my, or the smaller back is flat on the floor. And what we're doing is basically coming up, reaching up. So we try and keep our shoulders off the ground. There we go, reaching up. Crunches, nice and steady, resting down. You can do this in front of the television. Okay, moving that on to an oblique stretch. We're reaching across, across, across. You see what I mean? So we're developing that stretch across there. Just as far as I can go comfortably, and maybe a bit, so it'll give a mild discomfort and not pain. So we're reaching across. It works if that's out the way as well. If you've got my arm out, it's a bit more of a stretch. So we're reaching across. Okay? That's quite a nice stretch. Quite easy to start with. It develops if you do 20 or so, or maybe do it for 40 seconds, or a minute. You get the idea. Once you've got the strain, it's developing, but don't let it get into pain. Okay, so that's our crunches and our oblique stretch. Right, next one is called a glute bridge. Your glute is your backside, and all we do, lay down, and we're going up there. You see what I mean? So that's lifted off the ground. I feel the stretch in my quads, and my shoulder blades are on the floor. And I'll just hold that. Okay? Hold that, then rest down, and then up again. Okay, I can feel the stretch now in my glutes, in my backside basically. I can feel a nice positive stretch in my hamstrings and the quads at the front, okay? Nice, and the lower back, good lower back exercise as well. Okay, moving that on. Now we'll go to the last few. Press up, everyone loves a press up. But what I don't want is you to rep, if you want to rep out 50 press ups, no problem at all. But just, your hand is just under your shoulder or just wider. And what we're looking for is slow and steady. Press ups are either short lever with your knees or long lever, and we're going down and up. Down, 2 and up. Okay, so nice and steady, down, 2 and up. So we're looking for joint stability and control. Not just bouncing, certainly not, nice and steady. So 20, 10, 5 good quality press ups are better than 50 rubbish press ups by a long chalk. Okay, moving that on, and this depends on how flexible you are. It's called a frog. Frog steps, there's frog leaps as well, but we won't come on to that for a minute. I'll just show you from this side. So from that press up position, we're just stepping up, and then other side, as far as you can go, comfortably. Okay? Frog steps. And what you'll find as you do more, you get better at it. Okay? So there's your frog steps. Last one, leg stretch. All right, I'll do this one first. So, it's called happy cat, sad cat, prayer. So it's really just rounding the shoulders. It's quite a good just exercise the shoulders anyway. But happy cat, sitting there, big smile, stretching out the back. Sad cat, pull the tummy in, arch the back, feel the stretch across my lower back. Great if you have lower back issues anyway. Nice and steady, arch the back, around the shoulders. And prayer is to walk the hands forwards into the prayer position. Sit back on your heels as far back down as you can go. Feel the stretch all the way through the back, and you can feel some positive pressure on the shoulders as well. Okay, and then back into happy cat, sad cat, and then walk the hands forward, sit back on the heels for prayer. Okay, so I would hold each for maybe 10 seconds, 12 seconds, and rotate through for the period you're doing the exercise, be that 40 seconds, a minute, or whatever. Okay. The last one is going to be leg stretches. Yes. I've got 2 additional ones if you want. So leg stretch, number of ways of doing this, but for the one I'm looking for, we've got alternate, my right leg forward, left arm forward. And what I'm looking for is a stretching around there. So I'm pushing my leg in that direction and walking this hand as far around as is comfortable and developing that stretch. Okay? I feel the stretch across my shoulders, nice and positive, and then same again, alternates. So this way I'm going right leg over left, sorry, right leg over left, and my left leg is pointing forwards and my right arm is pointing forwards, and I'm pushing against that knee and then stretching across the chest away from you, hopefully showing you my back. Okay. 2 extras if you want to do them are plank and reverse plank. Just really a stability exercise. The plank is, there's all sorts of variations of plank. The basic plank is arms bent, and I'm trying to keep my spine as straight as possible. Keep my head up. If I drop my head, you follow your head, okay? So I just hold that for maybe 30 seconds to start and then develop it. And what I think is a better exercise is a reverse plank, which, as the name suggests, what we're doing here. Come into this position, you need to splay your hands out. If your hands are in line, it sort of restricts your shoulder. So splay your hands out 90 degrees, 45 or 90 degrees at least. Lift my hips, lean back, sitting on the carpet there, and hold that position there. They're very similar, but I prefer that as a plank exercise. I think the world record is well over an hour, or is it 7 hours? I can't remember. Not looking for that. 30 seconds, a minute, and then develop it. A good core stability exercise. Okay, that's that. Before we do a cool down, the standard cool down, just going to show you an exercise with a ball. It's called the helix. And I need to go back up here again, quickly. Okay, hang on there for a minute. You can do it with a ball, you can do it with one of these soft balls that you throw around the office when you've got nothing to do. Or a bigger weight. Flexibility for shoulders and hips. Start here, like you're holding a cup. We take it round, flex the hips, and back again. I call it a helix because you can see I'm describing that figure 8 infinity shape. Okay, under the arm, up and over. And hopefully the ball should stay in my hand, and you can do that both arms, yeah. There's all sorts of variations of this that we'll move on to next month, but the basics is there. Okay, so that's the basic suite of exercises that will take you through certainly the next session, which actually is this afternoon, and those are the basic exercises that I'm looking to work with a budding fitness coach from one of you, from one of the members, and we'll develop it. So the idea is we'll work on that basic scale of exercises, and then I'll do a bit of coaching to train the trainer. So under my guidance, if you like, that individual from the team can train the rest of the team, and they build a bit of confidence, build a bit of fault checking rather than fault finding, and we develop on from there. Anyway, hope you enjoy ABBA in the background. That's all from me. Have a lovely day, enjoy the sun, and in the words of the song, can't remember the word of the song. What was the word of the song? Stay young, stay foolish, and stay happy. See you soon. Cheers.